This began with a vision to provide our students the experience of working with a renowned composer, accomplished recording engineers, and go through the professional process of creating a full-length recording. And the result is a product that is a lasting legacy of that work.
I first met David Maslanka when he came to Western Illinois in 2011 to help us rehearse and perform his Fourth Symphony. When we learned of David's passing in August of 2017, I dedicated that fall semester and the subsequent spring semester to honoring him through playing some of his most important works. So I wanted to pick the biggest concert of our year to debut in Illinois, his Symphony No. 10, which I did in February 2019 at the Showcase of Bands. I knew David only wrote a portion of it and his son Matthew had completed it. So I called Matthew to get some insight into what had happened compositionally. That led to Matthew coming to Macomb and working with us to fully understand the magnitude of the process of completing the symphony.
The students were already well prepared musically and had a deep understanding of the work, but getting to hear from him in his own words about the circumstances behind its creation brought a new level of emotion and really guided their interpretation of the work.
David started writing Symphony No. 10 in early 2017. And during the process of composing the piece, he learned of his longtime wife Allison's immune disease. And while he was writing, she passed away. And 1 month later, he passed away himself from colon cancer, leaving only sketches behind of the remainder of the symphony. When Matthew was here in Macomb working with our band, he explained some important elements of the symphony. For example, this particular chord is when my dad realized he was going to lose his wife, and so we have to hold that note longer and it needs to be more dissonant. And we learned that the second movement was really a euphonium solo that David had written for his son Matthew. So when Matthew was on campus, it gave us a great opportunity for our euphonium player, Mike Rockstroh, to work with Matthew in private, developing the emotion of those solos.
There's a longer sustained note at the solo and the end of the second movement. He really emphasized that don't let that note die. Like, don't let up is what he specifically told me. He made me write it in my music.
It was thrilling to see how the students were connecting with this work, having just worked with the composer for a few days on it. Their emotions were heightened after hearing him describe the work in his own words and having his guidance as they rehearsed. And they took this new level of appreciation of this work into the recording session and had intensive hours digging even deeper into this work.
I think everybody in that group grew 200% as a musician, just from the intense listening that we had.
Typically, we record our concerts live and we put it out there. Here's our band. So this was very new for each of us.
We sounded totally in sync. We had the same musical message delivered, and we delivered it well all across the ensemble. And I think anybody that hears the recording is gonna hear exactly what we felt we were putting through the mics.
When you put a task like this in front of a group of students and you ask them to devote a lot of time and work into producing something of this magnitude, it's a leap of faith. The feedback that I've received so far validates that this was a worthwhile project in their eyes, and everyone is just very proud of their accomplishments.